Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be talking about Jujutsu Infinite. Now, it came out around a month ago, so normally I would have released the video earlier. However, Filmora stopped working for like 2 weeks, so I couldn't. But now that it's up and running, I've come to give my opinion on the game and determine if Jujutsu Infinite was really worth the wait. And I would like to start by saying that in the end, it is my personal opinion, and you can think whatever you want. But I think it's mid. Now, this is going to sound nasty, but I've played the game every day since release date, and as of the creation of this video, I am max level and have unlocked my domain. So I've played enough to know what I'm talking about, and apparently there was a lot of hype behind this game. And I say apparently because I forgot this game released until my friends started raving about how Jujutsu Infinite would drop in 2 days, and I think it was the 27th or 26th of December that it dropped. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. First, I want to go over how much content was released day one. I don't know how much time exactly, but I've heard many different answers as to how long the game was in development. But from what I've heard, it was around 3 to 4 years of development, which is a decently long amount of time. But in their defense, there were apparently only 5 developers who worked on the game, and I do have to say, the game looks very nice for only 5 people. I mean, just look at the intro. That's only the first 30 seconds of the game, and it's already looking really nice. And because this game had so much hype, I was under the impression it was supposed to be on par with Rel C's. Like, besides Rel C's, this was the big game everybody was waiting for. On release, the game had 6 bosses, 5 investigations, and a bunch of items, some that were unobtainable and still are. The game also has 19 innate abilities, and you're allowed to run 2 at a time, or 3 and 4 if you buy the extra slots. If you do want to play this game, just be prepared to do a lot of bandit beating, because that's what most of the content is, except for the PvP, which I found actually quite enjoyable. Everything you get in the game is a product of bandit beating, so be prepared to grind for hours. The abilities, I will say, look really cool. My personal favorites are Star Rage because of just how awesome the domain and its abilities look, and Gojo's because they look new, unlike Sukuna's, which needs a bit of work. Now, this is just my opinion and doesn't have too much to do with the quality or my opinion on the game, but people downplay Hikari in this game, like a lot. And I've seen maybe 5 people who actually use this domain, including me, so that says a lot. And I mean, it's a spammable domain and the healing factor is an actual game changer in PvP, so I'm not sure why more people don't use it. And besides, once you get in a jackpot state, you get to listen to an absolute banger for 1.5 minutes, but since Tukadanka is copyrighted, I'm actually just gonna put Persona music over this, so enjoy that. Just had to let the time run out on the edit and that song because it's honestly kind of a banger. And I wanted to mention the game does have a story to it, and while the premise is kind of interesting, the actual gameplay is still just bandit beating, as it's essentially just doing all the bosses and investigations but with a story to it. To reiterate a few things, for a game that has 5 devs and at least 3 to 4 years of development, the game is very lackluster, and you could be thinking, but it only has 5 devs. Well, Okay, I would say this then. They made 1.5 million for 3 months cause there were 50,000 Wave 2 testers that had to pay $30 monthly until Roblox told them to stop or their game would be taken down. They could have just hired more people to help with development. Not only this, but I heard that they didn't listen to a lot of their beta testers, which does not benefit your game if you're not willing to listen to criticism and change a few things about your game. The game is also very buggy. Now they fixed some bugs in ranked because you would sometimes get flung out of the map and die, which would make winning that much harder. But I can't tell you how many times I've gotten flung out in ranked, and I think I lost one time to it. Speaking of ranked, I do like the casino aspect of the ranked game mode. If you don't know what that is, after every match, whether you win or lose, you get a certain amount of chips that you can spend on chests within the casino, and the luck goes all the way up to 300%, which is at least one guaranteed legendary. So if you want to farm items and you like PvP, then casino is definitely the best way to go. The map for this game is also very huge, but it feels unnecessarily huge. Like in games where the map is very large, normally there is a reason. Like it's a harder difficulty area, different enemies with different loot are in those areas, or there are only certain materials in those areas. But in Jujutsu Infinite, the only difference in areas is different quests which essentially repeat the same formula over and over again. There are no new or different mobs except for within the story, and there are no materials to gather other than frost petals, cursed blooms, and spring puffs, which don't really do anything as of now. When I went into Sandbox, I saw a bunch of different materials unobtainable within the game, so maybe in the future those materials will be incorporated into the main game. As I'm nearing the end of the video, I wanted to say the cutscenes near the end of the story are alright, but not as good as the intro. Looking at the animation here at the end of the story is making me realize, hey, it was kind of stiff and kind of a disappointment. So if you don't want to look at the rest of the cutscene, you can just skip to 8:53 on the timeline. In the end, I believe this game could have been so much more than what it turned out to be, and was really a disappointment. I mean, the fact that Jujutsu Infinite only has around 36,000 players on average now, and Blue Lock Rivals has almost 5 times as much, really makes you notice how badly the game flopped. This game, in essence, is simply a more advanced Bandit Beater, and I'm sure they have bigger updates planned, but they should have given the community more to do in terms of gameplay. I don't know if I said this before, but the game's pretty cash grabby. If you have 4 of the best innates in the game, because you spent Robux on it, you can pretty much wipe the floor with everybody else, as well as having to pay $20 for Heavenly Restriction, which I think is crazy. And I just wanted to mention, I have a personal problem with the skipping spins game pass for 149 Robux with these long ass spins, because it's not even hidden how at every turn the devs will try to get money from it. I know that at least 2 of my friends got this game pass because they really just weren't gonna wait 3 hours because we're counting for spinning for 2 innate, 3 hours to essentially get 2 special grades. Because each spin takes like 30 seconds, and then the penny for special grade is 750, and if you get lucky you'll get one before that. But it's still crazy how long it takes. Yeah, so all I'm saying in the end is that the game could have been better. And if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you staying here. It means a lot to me. And if you could consider giving a like and subscribe, that also help a lot. And also, if you guys want, leave a comment down below with what you think your biggest problem with the game is, or what you think the game could have done better. And if there's anything I missed or should have said or didn't say, just bring it to my attention. But God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.